everybody. Welcome into ONTrack Weekly here on GeForce TV. We have got a jam-packed show tonight. It's championship night for 3 tracks this upcoming Saturday. Sauble Speedway, they've rescheduled theirs. That's going to be on Saturday. Then you've got Grand Bend. They've got some kind of weird championship thing where the NASCAR portion is already dealt with, and then the track championship, which is, I guess, different. There's different divisions and so much. That's also this weekend, and then Sunset Speedway and what possibly could be their final championship weekend. All 3 are set to go this weekend. We will have Calvin Reeser join us in just a second to talk about Sunset Speedway, potentially Colton Everingham as well. We will check in with him. That is a late addition to the show. I did not get a response from another invited guest, so Colton offered to come on and join. What shirt are you wearing tonight, repping your racers? So we've got a brand new hot rod champion out at Grand Bend. Chris Lawrence is who we're repping tonight on the show, of course. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we're going to get started right with our guests because we've got a lot of ground to cover. We're running a little bit behind, about 5 minutes behind right now, just because I had to switch things up. But Calvin is joining us with a lot on the line this upcoming weekend at Sunset Speedway, and what we've already talked about could very well be, the last championship. Hopefully not. Hopefully we do have some more racing that's going to happen at the Innisfil Speedway. But Calvin, glad to have you on the show. And how are things feeling heading into championship night, bud? Because as we've talked about, things have been a little bit crazy in that bone stock division this year. Not crazy in terms of bad. It's actually been one of the best championship battles I think we've seen. You and Austin Jeanette going back and forth, and Steve Oakes comes out of nowhere, and then he gets in the middle of it as well. How are things going for you, bud? And are you ready for this Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. I just got to go over the car once again. It's been, I like to say it's been tight all year, but I had a pretty good lead there for a bit until I ended up in the front stretch wall there, and it has been. Car wasn't great for a couple of weeks, and that really hurt us. I took up to Sean at Streamline, and he found all the problems, and we came back. I want to say we dominated that night because we ran away pretty good, even though we didn't get the win. Apparently, I jumped the start on something I've done for 4 years, so it's news to me.
It's got to feel rewarding, though, that you were at least able to get back into victory lane a couple of weeks ago and put yourself back in prime position to be the champion for 2025. Now, obviously, it's been a very tight battle with you and the SKLD group this year. The 9 car, they've had a good season. They've come on towards the end of it, but they've also had races where, and I think you experienced this week as well, like you had said, where sometimes that week you're not at the best, but then you come back stronger the week after. You've had this car for how long now?
4 years.
4 years, and it really hasn't given you any sort of problems at all. How have you felt the last couple of weeks, momentum wise? Is it harder to be in the lead, or would you rather be chasing?
Uh, this is a new thing for me going into the last night leading the points, so I'm not too sure yet, but I'm pretty sure I'd rather have someone have to try to chase me down than me have to chase them.
So what do you have to do, my friend? Because it's like you said, it there is a lot on the line here. This is 2 heat races that you're going to have to do, or at least one set of heats. So you've got a heat that you have to do that is for points. That is different from other tracks. Peterborough, theirs, I believe, they do have some points for some of those, but not to the same level as you guys. So you have points that are on the line for your heat, but then also for the feature. So as long as you finish in front of the 9 car, you're the champion for this year.
I think we did the math. I think I got a 6-point lead. So basically, as long as I can stay on his bumper, I should be okay. But our point system is weird. Our heats are worth a lot, and then the feature points drop so fast. Like I finished 5th, and I still lost 10 points that night. So it's close. Not as, a little like bigger lead, but it is what it is at this point. And I know they're gonna gun for it. I'm going in pretty relaxed, actually, to be honest with you. I know My family's not so relaxed about it, but I'm pretty relaxed about it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is big for you. I mean, you came back into this division, and it's changed a lot in a year's time. Obviously, the amount of racers that have been in this division this year has dwindled a little bit, but the competition this year has been quite stout. Pretty clean racing for the most part out there. You guys have all really raced with a ton of respect, which unfortunately I think you've seen in some of the other racetracks. That's not really the case. That's not really been happening as much. Big wrecks happening first couple laps into two feature nights. Um, what can you say about your competition out there that you guys just seem to just know how to race each other pretty clean?
I know our track's a little bigger, so it helps a lot
That's true.
with things we can do
Hmm.
out there to avoid what we have to avoid. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen. There's definitely, especially with being last night, who knows what's going to happen because everyone wants to do good. But we've all raced together. Most of us have raced each other now for 3 to 4 years. Like, there's not a lot of rookies in our class. Even our rookies, they're not even really rookies. They just come and race once in a while with us.
For yourself, this is obviously you're driving with the 49 on the side of the car and the top of the car. This would be a huge thing for you, obviously, to do it for Frank and what very well could be the last championship at Sunset Speedway. For you guys being so loyal to this track over the last couple of years and getting to know it, what is that? What is the emotion like? Because we really don't know we don't know what's happening with the track. I mean, I think people need to just sit back and wait and see what happens because I've heard so many, I don't know, you're in the track every week. So I assume the rumor mill is just as insane as I hear it. Um, I've heard stuff like the track's sold, it's not sold, and I've heard it's going to turn into a dirt track, and I've heard it's going to be the hospital. I already know that's not happening. It's going to turn into a housing development, which they can't do because apparently there's a junkyard, but then apparently there isn't a junkyard. There's just so much just talk. How can you get that out of your mind and just hope that there's racing next year at this track? Because you've raced here for a while, and there's a lot to love here, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot of fun times had this track since growing up here with, well, growing up at the track, really. That's what we've been. Uh, I'm pretty good at staying out of all the drama. Like, it's not really drama, it's rumors, but I don't listen to it. I don't care for it. Whatever happens, happens. And that's kind of how I've done this season.
Yeah.
Is whatever happens, happens. And turns out I've had a pretty good season doing that way. And I'm going to keep going that way.
And I know you wouldn't want to have a championship won through anything stupid or anything
No, I,
nefarious or non-sportsmanlike. I mean, that's just not what that's not a
no.
Frank and Calvin way of racing. I mean, the one thing that I didn't know him unfortunately, but I got to hear enough stories about him and that he was the consummate professional and
Yeah.
one of the most sportsmanlike drivers and one of the most beloved drivers. Especially, I think it was something to do with autumn colors, and it didn't work out for him. And but he went out and completely, didn't matter. He congratulated the winner anyways,
Oh, yeah.
and that's what we were here for. We don't want to have anything silly about that. And the fact that you're driving this 49 car, man, it's got to be such a an honor too that you're going for a championship just like he did in the 49 car.
Yeah, no, having that number on the car definitely means a lot more than just a car
Yeah.
number. Like,
Yeah.
I know if he was around, I definitely wouldn't be sitting here right now. We'd be on that car doing something. But
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, you would.
luckily, that car's Sean going through that, taking care of that for me. So I know
So
that when I show up on Saturday, it's going to be a good piece.
do we know kind of where your plans are following the championship night? Obviously, whether you win the championship or not it doesn't really matter. Are we gonna see you at the Last Dance, the Frost Fest, and ACC? I know we have a question from Brad Lavelle if you're gonna come to Peterborough if they're he's asking if next year if there's no sunset would you come to Peterborough to race or would you take some time off or undecided right now?
Uh, right now, it's kind of based on the championship, what happens,
Okay.
and what our plans are for next year. Um, I'll definitely be at the Last Dance. and I'll definitely be at ACC.
Hell yeah.
I would say Frostfest, but I have no luck at Flamborough and I've never had a good time there. So I will stay away from there as
And
long as
you
I can.
you are a lot of fun to watch. For anybody that doesn't know, he's very fun to watch in the bone stock races, because he doesn't care that there's grass in the infield. Uh,
That's the
Calvin's
best part
yeah.
about ACC is it's the last race and there's really not much. You got a whole winter to fix your car. So if there's moves you'll pull there that you probably shouldn't be pulling at home on a weekend.
Oh, I remember the move that you had earlier this year when you went through the inside, past like 8 guys, and then they're like, yeah, that's not gonna fly. But I'm hoping we'll see you do that as a pass for the win, and hopefully you can wrap up that championship this weekend. And you know what, a great battle between you and a fellow SNS racer and Austin Jeanette and Steve Oakes being out there and Jordan Owen and really good field of cars and. Obviously we want to see you take it home, but either way, a great season. You got 2 victories this year. One was a DQ win, but this
Yeah.
one you got one on the track, and that one, like
Yes.
you had mentioned, no one was touching you that night. That was all yours. So, best of luck
One
this
felt good.
weekend. Yeah, I would hope so.
Well, Jacob's first time out in the bone stock this year, he finished second, and then me finishing first. It was kind of like a throwback. So we had a great night. We laughed about it and talked about it, and that's gonna be fun to remember.
I mean, you're always such a blast to talk to. You always got a smile on your face no matter what. Obviously, hopefully you get the big championship at the end of the night. Either way, it's a great season for you, and hopefully you can take it home. But best of luck
Thank you.
this weekend, my friend, and thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you very much.
Calvin Reeser, he's going for the championship in the Bone Stocks out at Sunset Speedway, and then he will be there for the final dance and for ACC. So make sure you guys go support him. Reeser Racing on social media. We're going to bring in Brad Robinson now of the Ontario Sportsman Series. They are not racing this weekend. They were actually supposed to be out this past weekend at Varney. Unfortunately, rain sidetracked things. But things went pretty good for him because he was going to start pole, second pole at Full Throttle Motor Speedway this year, and it would have been he would have been the only guy to unseat Connor James twice in the season. And unfortunately, the rain came and spoiled it, Brad. But you guys got that car hooked up very well at Varney. It's just a shame that 2 of the 3 races there this year got rained out.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks again for having me tonight, Cam. I really appreciate it. And
Anytime.
yeah, you know what? I don't know why, but yeah, we seem to have we have certain tracks that we pick, and like Sunset, Full Throttle, Peterborough, tracks like that we circle where we know we're pretty good at, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of is a shame, I guess you could say, because we had 3 races there this year and we only got to run one of them, right?
Yeah.
And the second one got completely rained out, and then this past weekend put it on the pole, and never even got to show what we had, right? And the funniest part about it is, like, if you go back and look at first practice, like our practice, like we made a lot of adjustments after first practice because it was just terrible, but my dad and Terry went to work, and yeah, we were able to get that thing firing off pretty good in second practice. And then yeah, and it's kind of cool to beat a 2-time champion in Corey and 2-time champion in Connor, and in Corey's own backyard. So that was a little bit of a motivational booster, because it's racing is very much so up and down, right? So
Yeah.
you have your good weeks and you have your bad weeks. So that was a little bit of a motivational boost, but it would have been nice to get 100 laps in, that's for sure.
I mean, 2025 has got to have been a fresh breath of air for you because 2024 was one of the worst seasons I think a driver could have gone through. I think it was 3 blown motors. One wasn't even yours. 2 had happened during practice. A trailer that broke. I mean, honestly, it was just a really tough year. Yet you got your very first win at Sunset Speedway, and obviously you guys are going to be taking part in the last dance. Hopefully not the last ever dance at the track, but how are your feelings going into the finale of the season? You are always strong at Sunset Speedway. I mean, since 22 when you spun from the lead 15 laps in, yes, I do remember it. Um, But every time you've gone to this track, you perform very, very well on the podium earlier this year. Do you have a podium in it, and can you prevent Connor James from setting the all-time wins record list so that he has to come back next year?
Well, as a friend, I'm gonna say no. As a competitor, I'm gonna say yeah, right? Because
Yeah,
you go to the track every week and you want to win, right? But also at the same time, I don't want to overachieve essentially, right? Because you know what, like we won that race at Sunset last year, and we beat the best of the best in Corey McAllister, right? And you kind of set that bar of where you're at, right? And you
yeah,
expect to run well and contend for wins every week. Well, that's not the case, right? It's a lot more difficult than you would expect it to be, right? So for me this year, going into this year, it's yeah, you're still competitive and you still want to be competitive. There's still that fire there, but to get to the track every single week and just go and have fun and contend, I'm very, very happy with. Like one track that we struggle at is Flamborough, and we went there this year, and I was like, nope, not a fan of Flamborough, don't like Flamborough from the past. And then like we were like, okay, let's make a couple of changes, let's try something we don't normally do, go there, and we finished fifth. Like we had a pretty decent run. So for me, Sunset, yeah, we're competitive there and I want to win, but first you got to get to the end of the race, right?
very
uh
true.
yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. I intend to be competitive there. We're going back to the same setup that we basically had in the car the past 3 times that we were there, and one time we won, right? So I think it'll be pretty competitive. And to go there and win, and we don't know what's going on with Sunset after this year, whether we win or not, it's going to be pretty emotional, just for the simple factor of um I have that's essentially my home track in
Yeah.
Peterborough, right? So either way, whether we win, finish second, third, or last, I'm just going to enjoy it.
That's exactly what we want to hear. Adam Martin says, amazing drive. You seem to enjoy it and do well there. Congrats. And we want to send best wishes out to Adam. I know you've been
Yeah.
dealing with some health issues, so hopefully you'll be feeling better and we get to see you at Sunset, Adam. But
Yeah, get
and
well soon, buddy.
somebody named Courtney says, crazy to think that you were jacking up Dad's car at Sunset, being 8 at the time, to being 25, and now Dad's pitting for you. Well, that's obviously coming full circle, right? And
Yeah.
especially we talk about Sunset, it's home for it's home for SNS
Yep.
in a way too, because that's really our closest track, and they were the first track to take a chance on us. And
Yep.
next week it's looking like you might have a couple of buddies in this show, because not just Connor James, but also your good friend Paul Bogensberger Jr.
Yep.
Potentially going to make. He has said that he is going to be there. And you've said this before, that this series is attractive. It's fun. These
Yep.
cars are fun to drive, and now you've got buddies out there that are competing with you. Obviously, Connor being in this series, but now talk about Paul coming in and joining you as well.
Yeah, you know what? It's fun when you can take, you can go to the track with your buddies, right? And then
Hmm.
you meet people at the track as the years go along, right? And it's very competitive. Everybody puts a helmet on every week, and we go to battle, and it's fun. But also at the same time, like you said, the series is very attractive. It's affordable tires. Um, Unfortunately, we got tangled up in a wreck there at Peterborough. And I can't tell you, it's insane the amount of people that message me saying, hey, if you need parts, if you need this, if you need that, let us know, right? So it's kind of cool, and it's pretty cool that we're starting to see more cars trickle in, right?
Yeah.
Because car counts, like, I know you and I have had conversations about this, right? Car counts are low everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to see that our series, yeah, we might have low car counts, but we're starting to re-energize that and rebuild that. So with a guy like Paul coming in, especially coming in full time next year, it'll be a good time.
I don't know if you just broke news here, but that's news to me, so I'm happy to hear that. But it's
Oh yeah,
good.
Paul, sorry to take your Doritos away, bud, but you're yeah, sorry.
That's good. That's great to hear, because we already know about Sean McGlynn posting today. Sean, since he's come back to the series, has been,
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing exactly what veterans need to do. He's basically doing what Kevin Trevelyan's done for years, which is adding in more cars, no matter how crazy it is to do.
Well, we have that new car that we're building this year. So that's going to be
there we
another one
go.
as
There's
well.
another one right there that Robinson's got. And then we've got at least 6 to 7 cars that are actually sitting each week. So potentially there's 20 plus cars out there. We just have to get the field and the series productive and presentable enough that it is attractive for people next year. And especially with an unknown in Sunset, there could be a big schedule change for 2025. You guys only ran once at Sauble. I know you're glad about that because your luck at Sauble is probably worse than Flamborough.
Yeah.
But again, a big turnaround this year for you guys. What was it? Was it you? Was it your dad? Did you go back to having fun? Because that's what you told me you wanted to do last year.
And you know what, going back to that conversation that you and I had, and like I said at the beginning here, like, we went to that second race at Sunset last year, and when I won, I was like, we're gonna set the world, like the world on fire, right? And then
that was literally the word that you said. That was literally the phrase that you said. Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? It got to a point of where, I wasn't having fun. Stuff was breaking. I mean, like you said, we had a good friend in, Paul Sr. and Paul Jr.'s tires that loaned us that motor, right?
Yes.
And had a problem with it before. Like, we had a problem with it, like lining up to get on the track. Like so it was just one of those years. So you know what? When Dad and I sat down this year, we're like, we're going to do it race by race and we're going to have fun. And, that's what we've done this year. Everything's kind of fallen into place. We've run all the laps. We've been up front and contended for wins. I'm having fun. Terry, our crew chief and partial owner of the car, he's having fun. Dad. So, there can be tense moments in racing, right? Like there always is. But for the most part, though, you know what? It's funny how this has been probably one of our funner years. Just go relax and have fun. And we've been running well every week. So
it's remarkable. You're battling for that third place in points right now. It probably will come down to this final race between you and the Brimstone team, which they've gone through a carousel of different drivers this year. So they've got an ex DJ Kennington car. So I could say that's a pretty big car to go up against in points. And then of course Brendan Patrick and Connor James have been pretty much the class of the field this year, which has been great to see. But Brad, we did talk previously for you coming on the show. You are looking for partnerships for 2026. So how can people, if they want to get involved with a small race team in the Ontario Sportsman Series, it's 10 races that we are expecting still across Ontario. You guys are out of Gravenhurst, Huntsville, I think, right? Gravenhurst?
I'm in Gravenhurst. The shop's in Huntsville.
Okay, so we basically good combination.
Yeah. Let's go.
How can people reach out to you if they want to partner with you?
Yeah, so the easiest way would be to find us on all social media platforms at Robinson Racing. There you can private message us on there, phone number, as well as email. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of us.
Well, I remember going from your first interview ever to now you're a veteran at this deal. So thank you.
Crazy.
Thank you so much, Brad, for coming on the show tonight. And best of luck at Sunset. And I can't wait to see you guys on the Friday night.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Cam. Really appreciate it.
That is Brad Robinson. Of course, I definitely want people to go in and partner with some great racers. And he would be one of those names that I would suggest you guys look into partnering with. He is looking for some help for next year. And I know a lot of people do. A little bit different of a field and different types of schedules. They go all across Ontario, and somebody who isn't going all across Ontario right now, but maybe in the future we could see him do that, because we've had this conversation about potentially an OSS ride for Mr. Donovan Clark, who joins us. He's a little busy right now, though, because he's battling for the championship once again in 2025. He's a lot closer this time than he was last year. Donovan, you are in the thick of it at Delaware Speedway, and it is literally coming down to one position on the racetrack between you and Charlie Verhoeven last week after the DQ. You guys are back at it. I believe you're back at it next week. Not this week.
This coming
Friday?
Yeah.
So it's this Friday. You guys are back out at it. Yes, that's right. But it's not a normal event this week. This is a
No.
big one for you guys. This is a 40 lapper. Much better year for the Bone Stocks as a whole, a lot cleaner than I think we've
Yeah.
seen. What do you have to do, bud? Because this is like we're talking one position between you and Charlie, and Bone Stock races can get a little chaotic. It is a literal tie in points, actually. For whatever reason, I thought it was 1 point. No, it's literally a tie between you guys right now. It says on the website 566 or 576, 576, and he beats you on win total. So we got to get those up a little bit. But what do you got to do this week, bud? Because 40 laps and the field's pretty damn strong.
No, I mean, hopefully the car stays together and keep out of the wrecks. That's I think that's the main thing. If we can have a good 40 clean lap for like 40 lap race there, I don't see a problem us getting to the front, and hopefully we can have good contentions there.
Now, there's the big question mark that I have for you right now, Donovan, is did this season start off, was it a struggle for you? Because it felt like it took a while for you guys to get going.
Yeah, so going into our first night, we only put 5 laps on a brand new car. So we didn't even have the car fully ready when we went out the first race. So we were struggling for the first, I'm gonna say 3 races. It was a struggle for us. We were just time, and into the car and trying new things. And probably about midway through the season, we were still in contentions for the top spot, and we decided to keep our car clean and stay out of any big ones, and just sneak up to the front. That's for sure.
It kind of felt like that was what happened, is that you snuck kind of up to the front, and then all of a sudden you go out there, you finally got that big televised big win, and you did it just so I could see you do it. That's what I felt like was the case.
Exactly.
Of course, it didn't happen the week we were there because you guys didn't end up racing, but
Yeah.
What would this championship mean for you? Because I expected when I was at the track that you would have maybe 8 to 10 crew members there. Nope. You and your dad.
And
that's
my
who
girlfriend. Yeah.
she was. I don't think she was there that night though. The first
right.
night she wasn't there with you. So the televised night, yes, she was. I do remember that, but just the two of you guys. And that's it. Is that all the help that you and Laura and your dad, and that's it?
Thankfully, there's so many of good guys all throughout the pits. They're always willing to help out, and thankfully we haven't had to come into the pits yet to get straightened back up. But no, I'm sure if I did, they would definitely come over and help. I know the Rawlings, they're always willing to help us, and all of those boys. So it's awesome to have them as friends and basically teammates. So it's awesome.
Well, I love that you and the rest of the Delaware field have been very clean, and until recently, unfortunately, there was that, I want to say it was like the week of hell, honestly. Like there was an injury bug that seemed to go around, and I think Kara Martin, Jesse Howard, Hannah Lamont all got injured in a period of 2 weeks, and you don't typically see that. People seem to forget you guys are still going pretty fast around Delaware Speedway. What is the top speed that you guys get up to?
I know according to Speed Hive, I think my car hit 77.3 mile an hour. And I know there's some guys in the 78s.
See, and that's where we're talking. Like that, it doesn't matter what type of car you're in. When you hit hard, it hurts. And unfortunately, we've seen it. It's been relatively clean. Coming off of those weeks, though, you guys, again, still have the opportunity to have a clean race. Unfortunately, Hannah and Jesse are not going to be back, at least this upcoming week. But for yourself, you have 40 laps to prepare. Normally, you're not 40 lapping So what is the difference for you that, like, what do you have to do differently?
I think our car is going to be great because by
Yeah?
the 20th lap, my car starts to feel good. I don't know what's up there, but by the 20th lap, I start to feel good, and um, I know there's a couple other guys that have weight penalties in the
Yep.
class, so their brakes are going to get hot, and it's going to be a tough night for them just because you got to slow down that extra 100 or 50 pounds, right? So
Yeah.
it's going to be a struggle for them.
Well, Donovan, I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you've got a championship that you're battling for this week. Got 40 laps you're going to go out there for, but I appreciate you coming on and chatting with me tonight. Like I said, it is a points tie right now between you and Charlie Verhoeven. He's got 4, you've got 1 win. Colin Williams is not out of it, 10 points behind, and then Matt Langford 11 behind him. It's between you 4. I love this about the Bone Stocks. It's always a tight battle and always fun to watch. And I know we have talked at the track. You were going to talk to Kevin Trevin. Unfortunately, he wasn't doing well at the time that you went to talk to him. But are there plans potentially to look at another type of racing series for 26?
Um, I would love to get into an OSS. If we can get some more sponsors on board and potentially have a look at a car, I'd love to take a look at least, see what we can do with that. If not, I think in 2026, I'm almost got my backup car, which is last year's car, ready to go. So hopefully we're going to do a little bit of traveling. I know we're going to hit Flamborough for sure. We were hoping to go to Sunset, but we don't know if that's going to be. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it there in time. But we're going to be using that car for the Pumpkin Smasher, so that's going to be pretty sweet.
Awesome. Well, best of luck for the rest of the season, Donovan. Hopefully you can take home the title. And thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Awesome. Thank you.
That is our good friend Donovan Clark, who goes for a championship. He's got a couple weeks still to go. He's got a big 40 lapper to deal with. Right now, we're going to bring on the voice of Flamborough Speedway, somebody who I get to listen to on Track Tune every week, and thank God for that because he's got one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite announcers in the province, and he's done a great job. He's got a lot of exercise going up and down those stairs every feature. Kevin Small joining me from Flamborough Speedway. And Kevin, man, you guys keep putting on damn good races at Flamborough Speedway. How have things gone this year for you guys?
It's been a good year. We've had decent car counts, especially in our pure stock division. We're averaging almost 20 cars every weekend. A lot of really good racing. It's been relatively clean for the most part. We've had our incidences. We've rolled a few cars here and there. That stuff takes time to clean up, but it's been a good year. I mean, points battles are starting to tighten up a little bit. There was a lot of buzz about our Gold Rush event. We've had some big things going on at Flamborough, and we've already started talking about next year. So stuff's happening at Flamborough, and it's exciting times. That's for sure.
I will attest to that. Ignorantly, I had not been to Flamborough Speedway nearly enough in the last 3 years. This was the first time, only the second time in the last 2 that it's only the second time in the last 3 years. I've been there twice. And this year, I love this place so much. The racing is just so good. And I think it gets forgotten about. And unfortunately, that's, it happens with the small counts in the other divisions. We're seeing that. And you're seeing a fellow track in Sunset Speedway that we don't know what's happening there. It's worrying times. So as an announcer who does more than, I'll put it out, you do more than just announcing. You're a big part of the social media, the promoting, behind the scenes guy. As a track representative, what do you have to do to ensure that you keep the buzz going at Flamborough Speedway? Because it's a tough job. It really is.
Yeah, it's not an easy job. It's something that it's a lot of countless hours that you put in behind the scenes that not a lot of people see it. Yeah, sure. On Saturday night, you hear me talking all night long, jibber jabbering, all that kind of fun stuff.
I love that jibber jabber, man. I love it.
You see me going up and down the stairs, but
Yeah,
behind the
count the
scenes, there's
steps, man.
yeah, my Apple Watch is going like crazy. So yeah, behind the scenes, it's a lot of work. John and Frank have put a lot of time. Nobody sees the time that they put into it. We're trying to get the stuff updated to 2025. They've need a little bit of new blood into the place to kind of spruce it up a little bit, and we're trying to make things happen. It's just it sometimes it's a little hard because they're just kind of set in some of their ways a little bit. And once I kind of crack that tough shell of John Caselli, then it opens up and it explodes. And if I can get that to work and kind of make things happen to bring that buzz all the time. Car counts are down a little bit, late models struggling a little bit, but
yeah,
that's across the board. It's not just
exactly
at our place. It's time is, it's hard now. It's expensive. This is an expensive sport to run. And, like I said, we've been very fortunate with having our pure stocks. We've had some good partners on board. Like I said, we're averaging 20 cars a night, which is huge. It's a lot of fun. We had a good field of mini stocks last weekend. So I know a lot of people, Frosttoberfest is a big event and a lot of guys are gearing up for it. So we're going to start to see some more cars coming. But we're trying some new things. I've been talking to a couple different divisions, not even just in Ontario. We're trying to make things happen. So some big news that will be coming at some point in time. So it's an exciting time. It's just, we're trying to keep that buzz going all the time, not just, for one event like the Gold Rush or Frosttoberfest. We want to spread that along across our very long season from, the start of May till the middle of October. It's a long season, and we've already started planning for 2026, and we're hoping to go out with a bang in 2025 and then bring on 2026 and hope for some fun stuff. So,
well, Mike Schmidt dropped a bomb shell earlier today because he put out the igloos are going to be run by the mini stocks, the pure stocks, and the legends are coming to Flamborough Speedway. Thank the Lord. I am so excited for this. The legend cars we've talked about on several platforms, they are right now the hottest division. They're getting the most attention. Hopefully we'll get a couple more names coming into that division, but adding them to the Frosttoberfest or Frostfest card, that's got to be an amazing experience for you guys. It's something new to the track. Hopefully this will open up. Potentially we see them at the track next year on a semi-regular basis as well.
Yeah, it's already on my list. I ran out of time today to send some emails out, but yes, the plan will be to try to have them out a couple times next year, whether it's the Ontario Legends, Great Lake Legends, whether they combine, whatever. We're trying to get them out so it's not just one time like we had for Frosttoberfest, which it's going to be a great event. We got 2 full days, but yes, we're trying to make them so that they come a couple times. We're trying to make some different schedules so we don't have 38 pure stock races. I hear it. I look at all this.
I would imagine media. You do.
I hear it. Right. So we're trying some things so that, we can make this a place that people want to come. Not sure what's going on with Sunset yet.
Yep.
If there's cars, we want to get them to want to show up to our racetrack, and that's what we're really trying to do. And if they come and enjoy it, a lot of people say, they're like, oh, Flamborough, it's a one groove racetrack, you can't pass. Sometimes that's true, but once you come and experience, you're like, oh, this place is awesome. And that's, I still get chills driving in through the gates every day that I go to work there. It's a lot of fun.
One of the things that I've really fallen in love with is the divisions that I call the interesting ones, the ones that we don't really see. And thanks to Flamborough Speedway, I got to see Pro Challenge last year, fell in love with them immediately, and they became a favorite of mine. We got S&S in that division this year. Mike Norris, the champion's going to come on, and right after you, actually, and you got the CVMs. Dave Evison pointing out that they also have great numbers. They're showing up quite regularly. OPC just got the Pepins, Maddox, and Jay joining in with them. I think they'll have even more numbers next year. So even though certain divisions are struggling, others are actually starting to rise. OSS, we were just talking with Brad Robinson. Their counts are looking pretty decent. Hopefully they'll come back for 2. There's a large history when I went back and found Flamborough has really a history with almost everything in motorsports, everything, including NASCAR, which people forget about. That, yeah, there is a history there with CASCAR, and there's a lot of great stuff that's going to happen there. For yourself, though, what is the battle that you want to be watching? Is it Frostfest? Is it a championship at Flamborough Speedway? That's yet to be decided. We kind of have an idea of who's going to be the champions in prolates and minis, but who is the champion, or who is the battle going to come down to right now? Because your pure stock division is by far the best in the province. I love pure stocks, bone stocks across the province, but there's something about the amount of cars and the amount of races you guys do, and the amount of changing now between Riddell, Cote, and now with Chase Mitchell being involved in that accident this weekend, this thing is wide open again.
Yeah, it's been a battle all season long. Chase in the 3 machine, the MRC team, they've been bringing a lot of cars every week. Consistency was the name of the game.
Yeah.
Spencer in the 17 car had a little bit of a hiccup in the middle part of the season. John started off a little slow in the 38 cars, kind of come on to life here. The 3 machine was the key to consistency. The last 2 weeks has really bit that machine in the back of the butt, really. And I just finished doing the points here probably like 20 minutes ago. So we have a new points leader for the first time in a long time. The 38 car, John Cote, has taken over, 25 points up on the 3 machine of Chase Mitchell, and Spencer Riddell 40 points back of the 38 cars. So in a field of 20 cars, because we run 2 features, if you have one mess up in the first feature and can't quite get it ready to go, that's almost a 20-point swing in one night. You can almost see a 40-point swing in one night. So that battle is going to be intense. It's going to come down to the wire. I know it is. That's just the way the season's been shaping up. So it's going to be a great battle. We still have a few weeks left. And then, like you said, the Frosttoberfest, 2 huge days coming up at Flamborough. It's a lot of fun. I lose my voice on the first day and then struggle through the second day, which is throat lozenges galore. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And if like you said, if people haven't come out to Flamborough, come on out and check it out. I know the weather's cooling down a little bit, but for me, I like the cool weather. Throw on a jacket, you get yourself a flam burger, some French fries, you have a great night at the track. And we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and we're excited about it.
Yes, I know. For myself, John Morrison and I, we had a conversation, and the boys are coming. We're gonna come for my first ever Frosttoberfest on the Sunday. And this will be weird, because I said to John, I want to enjoy this. I don't want to work. I want to actually sit and watch some racing. I don't think I actually will. I probably will end up in that infield, because when you do it once, the infield at Flamborough is literally like nothing else. The action is, you don't have anything obstructing your view. It is some of the best racing, some of the best experiences. Spencer does say no R word for the championship night. Yeah, that's not allowed, Spencer. It is not allowed. But definitely I agree. I'm excited because it's Flamborough. We're hoping to do some stuff with SNS and Flamborough next year. I love this track. I love the people at it. They were so friendly. You're honestly, the infield staff, your cleanup crew was some of the friendliest cleanup crew in the business. They knew my name and I didn't even know who they were. So it was awesome. But I'm going to be listening in. I don't know if I'm going to be out at the track this weekend. I hope to be, but best of luck for the rest of the year, and I can't wait to see you at Frosttoberfest, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. It's, like I said, come on out to Flamborough. We got a lot of stuff going on, and make sure you give the guy coming on next a little bit of a hard time. I gave him a hard time last weekend, so give him another hard time here in the next little bit. So,
well, we'll do our best. Our best, Kevin. But thank you very much. And they're not just about that flam burgers; they're about good racing. So show up not just for the food. Show up for the good racing at Flamborough Speedway. Thank you, Kevin.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
That is Kevin Small from Flamborough Speedway. I can't talk enough about him. He's such a great announcer, such a great force in the landscape of Flamborough Speedway. He's going to do great things for that track, not just for the people at the facility, but for the fans. And coming off of this past weekend, we got somebody else who's done something quite special, and he took home the Ontario Pro Challenge Championship, and that is Mike Norris, who had to beat dear old dad to do it, and it was a really, really, really close one, Mike. Did we get the
Yeah.
final point total of how close it was?
We haven't run through it yet, but it's like within 4 or 5 points. Like if I didn't battle back in that second feature, I was gonna be hurting pretty bad. So
Exactly.
um
I love it.
it was close.
I love
It
it.
was close.
Yeah, it was. You know what? Thanks to TrackTune and thanks to definitely Pedal Power, because that's how I've gotten to fall in love with the Pro Challenge. I've talked
Yep.
about it a lot here on the show. This series is so friggin' fun to watch.
Hmm.
I cannot. And you got so many different body styles of these cars. They sound
Yep.
great. They're so fun to watch. I can
Yep.
imagine that they are a friggin' blast to drive.
Oh, they're something different. I don't know. I've driven a couple of cars just practicing and stuff, nothing racing, but nothing handles like a Pro Challenge car. They weigh absolutely nothing. They've got a ton of power and they've got way too much tire. It's the best thing ever.
Now, you guys have gone a couple different places. You go to Flamborough, you go to Sauble, and you go to Full
Yep.
Throttle.
Yep.
Those are new, though. For a while, it seemed like you were only going to be at Flamborough Speedway. Now you're going out to Sauble and you're going to Full Throttle. You do have a history. They were at Sunset for a bit too.
Yep.
Delaware's not really a track that these cars could go to, correct?
We've been to Delaware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to go to all the tracks: Peterborough, Delaware, Varney, Sauble, Sunset. Um, a long time ago, we did a test race at Mossport and we used to
Wow.
race at Mossport and Kawartha as well on the half-mile ovals there. But that's going back to like 2010, 2007, and 8 and stuff like that. Back when I was helping my dad
Yeah, I was gonna
when I
say
was
probably a little
10 and
young.
12
Yeah.
when I was 10 and 12 years old,
Yeah.
learning how to wrench on race cars. So yeah, but that's once COVID happened, a lot of the drivers, a lot of people were like, we don't really want to travel.
Yeah.
Everyone lived around pretty close to living around Flamborough, so we're like, let's just stick here for now. And then as the numbers grew, everyone's like, hey, we kind of want to travel some more. And then we were just like, you know what, let's reach out, and a couple of tracks like, yeah, we would love to have you, and we've been going there ever since and traveling around.
I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. Like I saw them for the first time last year, and I always wanted to see them, and they're just so much fun to watch. They've got these. I'm a sucker for seeing old body styles. They've got Dodges in the
Mhm.
field. They've
Yep.
got Pontiacs. Marjorie still drives the Pontiac, which
Yep.
makes me happy because that was my
Mm.
favorite race car. You've got
Yep.
some Chevys, all different body styles on them, and you've started to attract some more names. Colton Clark
Yep.
comes in, joins this
Yes.
series. Mike Gilmore does have a car, hasn't made it
Yep.
out yet, but we know
Nope.
that is in the plan for
Yep.
him to come out. And then just recently added Maddox and Jay Pepin as well. Where can people go about and how can they get a car for this series? Because I know that has been a question. They're not really a lot posted on socials about how to get one. So let's talk with you. You guys know how to go about it.
Yeah, so the way it works right now is my dad owns the series.
Yeah.
He runs all the parts, he runs all the stuff, all the financials of the race series. So part of that is he looks after marketing the cars because realistically it's his name when someone
Yeah.
buys a car and then they go, this thing's terrible, or I need parts, or what do I got to do? First person they call is him.
Yeah.
Because that all the phone numbers, all the emails on the website, and all the Instagram and all the Facebook go right to him. So reach out on if you're looking for a car, Instagram, Facebook, call my dad. We've got lines on at least 6 cars right now.
Perfect.
That I and minimal work needed. So and anybody can hop in them and be a top 5 car. Like Colton Clark, all of 14 years old, never driven a car before, can't drive on the road, and he's running the same lap times as me, and he's only been racing half the season.
Yeah.
So
And
pretty
that happened
incredible for
really
that guy
quick,
right there.
Mike. It
Yeah,
happened
and
really
it
quick.
really fast too. And same thing, Ethan Fleet, he joined the series 2-3 years ago, never driven anything before, me and him are pretty much brothers now, and I've been looking after his car because he lives in Alberta. Now
Oh,
he moved out to Fort Mac this year for work, and he's been flying back for every 2 weeks for our races. So I've been working on his car for him for that. So we do a lot of stuff in house, and we just try to make it, and we try to help as everybody out as possible.
yeah.
If anybody ever has issues at the track, me and my dad are the first ones saying, "Hey, what parts do you need? Oh, you need help fixing it." I missed 6 practice sessions this year fixing other people's cars. It's just the way it works out. Putting rear ends in, axles, brake, all sorts of stuff. Me and my dad are the first ones there, sacrificing our time so other people can go and race and have fun. Because that's what it's all about. If it's not that, then what are we doing? Because I having more cars on the track and racing with friends is
Oh,
my dream. So
easily,
that's
and
the whole point.
that's the way it kind of looks. I mean, there's been some contact for the most part. Like it happens, it's racing, right? But for the
Yep.
most part, you guys have had. I mean, I think Ty Riopel owns the record for the most flips in a season. I mean, I don't
Yes.
really know how that's happened multiple times, but it's
Very, very unlucky.
yeah, just happened this way. And you know what? We have people in the chat, namely like Spencer Riddell and Ashley McMartin, who are wondering about this. What are we talking cost wise compared to other types of racing in terms of what these cars would cost if somebody were to want to buy one?
So realistically, I'm just gonna set this as a basis. I'm
Yep.
22 years old and
Yes.
I fund my own racing. I own my car, I pay for the tires, I get sponsors, but that helps pay for tires and maintenance. It's not like I don't have a big budget.
Yeah.
These cars upfront cost is a little bit big just
Yeah.
because I mean racing cars in general isn't cheap.
Hmm.
But if you got a budget, and realistically you can get in a mini stock 10 to $15,000 in a mini stock probably nowadays won't get you very far.
No, sadly not.
It really won't. Just by looking at what's out there, I mean, you can have a mini stock, but you may not be top 4 mini stock.
Yeah.
For 15 to 20 grand for a Pro Challenge car, you can have the nicest piece out there. I've got one sitting in my garage. It's got a pretty big price tag on it, but it's the car we built at Motorama, and it is every single bolt's new, every heim joint's new, brand new rear end, strong motor, gorgeous body. I mean, like it's prettiest thing I've ever seen. It's expensive, but it's brand new. And you can buy a used car, powder coat the chassis, put new heim joints in it, go over the motor, wire it if you have to, and you're going to be looking at $16,000 to $17,000. Yeah, they're realistically in the grand scheme of race cars, they're not terrible, and especially for the price or for the speed we're going.
Yeah.
So just on lap times alone, the lap record for me at Flamborough is a 16:3.
Wow.
A late model, the top fastest late models go around there at 15 seconds a lap. So for a second and a bit more, I spend a tenth of what they spend, just
Damn.
averaged. So I think personally that is an extreme feat of how good these cars are for the budget. So I think that's a lot of things that a lot of people don't get. But I mean, it's racing, right? So everything's expensive, but it's just when you look at it, it's a whole different world.
I'm just saying, if I see another 17 in this field with Spencer Riddell, I'm gonna love it because that's actually pretty awesome. He's talking like he says startup cost just it sounds just like about everything else, which is that's what it
Yeah.
is. Startup cost is a little bit more.
Yeah. Startup is initially high, but once you buy the car, you get all your safety gear.
Yep.
It's legit tires, car maintenance, and oil changes. That's all I really look after during the year. So it's too too
And,
taxing.
and you don't need a giant trailer to
No,
travel.
no, they're only 14 feet long. Now I shouldn't say that. I mean, we also bring 4 cars to the track every week. So we
Yeah.
do have a stacker because we have 4 cars and we
Yeah.
need we bring parts for the whole series.
Yeah.
So that's what's also in our trailer. And then like we got all the tools and everything that we need to get our cars fixed at the track and everyone else as well. So I mean, for us it makes sense to have that big of a trailer, but I mean, I remember when my dad won a championship in 2007 against 25 other drivers with a tool chest and a flat deck trailer. He'd show up with
Yeah.
8 tires, a flatbed. He didn't even have an electric impact gun, and he would go out and wax them all. So it doesn't matter what you bring to the track as long as you can put it together when your time is right. That's all that matters.
Kevin Small says this guy's a stud. He's also a decent hockey player. He's also a champion for 2025. He said
Yeah.
to give you a hard time. I couldn't do that. Mike Norris has repped SNS, and the entire Norris family, actually,
Yeah.
and Pepin family have done that for us this year, and we're excited. We're going to try to be back next year and try and do a little more for OPC because they're just so much fun to watch. Honestly, it's great stuff. And congratulations, Mike, on the
Thank you.
championship, and thank you so much for joining me tonight.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That is Mike Norris from the Ontario Pro Challenge, the champion. And we bring in somebody else who actually was kind of breaking the news today. He posted before anybody else did, and then I shared the post because it blew me away that Trayton Lapsovich is going to go race in the Craftsman Truck Series, Colton Everingham. You just like to break the big news here, don't you, buddy?
Yeah. I just was scrolling through Facebook and I just kind of seen it and I thought it was pretty cool. Somebody in Ontario home roots are getting the chance at going to the high ranks here, and I hope he does well. I hope I hope this opens up opportunities for him because he does deserve it.
I think from the NASCAR Canada area, for not including one-offs at CTMP, this would be the first time that somebody other than J.R. Fitzpatrick or Pete Shepard, I believe, will have stepped into the field, which is it came out of left field. I was not expecting that, honestly. I was expecting another ARCA event, but it's great news to see that. And for somebody that, you raced against out at, a couple of times, really. We're heading into the end of the season, Colton. It is championship week for you guys out at Sunset Speedway. You had a race weekend that you really kind of would have preferred to have had different. I saw your post earlier. You said that's part of it. Sometimes you get a car that is not the car that you've had all year long. What was the difference out there? Was it weather, do you think, or just something at the setup, or it kind of was an odd race for you, just not really ever near where you have been?
Yeah. Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. And unfortunately today I was the bug and the windshield. No, one of our registered, we're on a tire program that we have like inventory tires and stuff. One of our registered tires went missing. I don't know if it was, my dad or myself, like my dad and I, it's a team deal here. We misplaced it. It's gone, rim and everything. So it kind of put us behind the 8 ball. We didn't think we were going to be that far behind the 8 ball. But as it showed, we were really far behind the 8 ball. So it was a mistake that I hope will never happen again. I hope that, I myself have a better, security on that stuff. And I'm not saying somebody stole it. I don't know where it is. We've had a couple weeks off since the last Sunset race, and I don't have 1.5 million rims. So I'm sure it must have got misplaced when I was changing rims over for Sauble and or changing tires over for Sauble. So anyways, it put us behind the 8 ball, and it was bad. It was embarrassing. So we regrouped. I'm actually at Streamline Race Products right now. We just finish going through the car top to bottom and putting it back to where it was, because we kind of started veering off to what it was a few months ago, just to try to find that little bit of extra speed that we needed.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if it's 100% not working or what, but we know what works, and we're going to go back to it, and hopefully we can put together a good weekend this weekend.
I saw you actually were out at Sunset Speedway, not just racing, but you were also on the mic for Lila Sigma out at the junior late model event. They had a double feature. Unfortunately, I think she was just part of the one, but nice way to kind of distract yourself from how the day went. But we're counting down the days to the last dance. It's unfortunate, it's sad, but this weekend it's all down to business, and it is you and Bailey Jacobs. And from what I've seen in the Superstock class this year, there's a lot of clean racing between everybody in there. I know this is a loaded question about what kind of you need to do, but the mindset is more or less what I'm curious about, because it's been a while since you've had to compete for a championship. So mindset the same as it was so many years ago, or is it a little bit different this time?
I've tried my best not looking at the points deal.
Good.
Because when you do, it just kind of screws with you, and it kind of screwed with me last week, and I just kind of took a gander at it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. We're, in 2018, we were behind the 8 ball going into the championship night. We were like 8 points or 9 points out. This was the first time that I've been leading it this close. And I mean, Saturday, I'm pretty sure that took it all away, but it's, whatever happens. I've had a really good year. Me and my team, we've really turned things around and made the best out of every opportunity and positioning and stuff that we've gotten. My marketing partners, my family, my sponsors, my girlfriend, everything has been almost a perfect season, and I'm just ecstatic to be in this position. And I just really hope that, come Saturday night, as much as I'm sure Bailey would prefer it be him or I mean, even Jacob Booth, he's in the hunt too as well now. And I just hope that I'm the best one out of the three of us.
I love that it's going to come down to the last race in multiple divisions. This year, obviously the bone stocks, super stocks, I think hot rods and mini stocks are pretty well decided. But the pro late models as well, it's coming straight down to the very end once again. And you did something this past weekend that I think more people need to take recognition of. Changing up a wrap for breast cancer awareness, changing up wraps and doing a new design is not something that we see very often in racing. You see it a lot in NASCAR almost every week, but why did you go out and do this? And you guys raised, I want to say it was $825, I think it was at. I don't know if you've surpassed that since I last checked.
I think now we're at 1,200 or 1,300.
Unbelievable.
And I really haven't even advertised it. We just I had Ashley, my mom, and my sister walking around through the stands and the pits and everything on Saturday, just really pushing the stickers. And when Craig and I talked about doing this, I've kind of wanted to do it for a long time. I've just never financially been in the position to be able to do it, because as it does cost money to change wraps over, and thankfully, like Craig and the guys over at Image Wraps and the girls as well, they were really ecstatic to come on board to do this whole thing, so it definitely helped out a ton. He asked me how many stickers I wanted to print off for the first batch of donations, and I just didn't want to. I'm not saying it would have been a waste, but you never know, especially in this day and age, on how expensive things are in life. So I didn't know exactly how far it was going to take off. So we started, I think, with 58, and we were sold out before my feature. So
amazing.
Yeah. So I started doing with just like a $10 minimum donation, just just keep it a little bit easier that way than having a bunch of loonies and toonies and stuff hanging around. And people are eating it up. Like there's been, huge donations. There's, I can't believe the support that a lot of people are doing, for such a terrible disease. So I just, I kind of like the pink. I think the pink chrome and stuff really look good.
Looks pretty good.
A lot of people complimented it on the racetrack, and like I said, imagewraps.ca just did a phenomenal job with taking the vision and bringing it to life.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. $1,300 raised. That's fantastic. And yeah, even what they did with the making guns in Guns Auto Service pink as well, which, I mean, classy to all get out. I love it. It's beautiful. It's been a good year for you. And one thing I will consistently commend you for is the willingness to help out others, not just as a sportsman on track, but helping a podcaster when he tries to have a guest that unfortunately doesn't work out. Always make yourself available, and it's I can't tell you how appreciative I am of that. And we're working on our Scuffy Awards for 2025, and we're really excited about the amount of people that we have going for this the Robert James sponsorship, the memorial, more sportsmanlike. And you won that last year for us, and now it's in a different, it's ballooned into a bigger deal. But sportsmanship isn't something that everybody has on the racetrack, as sad as it is. Why is it something that you make so prevalent about yourself, that you are always that helpful person, always smiling, always trying to help people out?
The biggest thing is I've been pretty blessed in my life. I grew up with a family with not a boatload of money, and that we got by with things that we needed to get by, and I was just so grateful that I was able to start out, racing back in 2013 and getting my first sponsor, something that I never ever thought would ever happen, and just the with my Streamline Race Products, my mother, my dad, and all my marketing partners throughout the years and stuff have just believed in me when a lot of people didn't, and I probably didn't believe in myself the best. So I'm just I'm very blessed, and just with there's been some darkness in lives with people, and like losing somebody to mental illness and stuff. It just it really changed my whole outlook on life and my whole demeanor on life, and the people up in the stands, they're wishing that they could do what we're doing, and without the fans in the stands and the people behind the scenes and stuff, none of this is possible. So I just when I'm able to, I just want to spread kindness and just be the best that I can be, because always somebody's watching, and that's just how how life is. And the moment that you get people get a bad taste in their mouth about you, it's really hard to change that. So I just got to stay positive with things, and I like trying to help out people that may not get as much recognition as they deserve. And I'm just, like I said, I'm super blessed with being able to do what I love. Super blessed to have the people supporting me, and I just want to share that as much as I can.
Well, I'll tell you, the comments that we have here regarding you, or it's Casey Cameron, happy to be here in time to see this beauty, good soul, and even better man. And it's true. And you know what? I said this to Ashley when she had her fundraiser for Hudson Sellers, and I'm not a fan of certain numbers, and I think that better numbers, more even, help out. So you've said $1,300 is where you're at. So stickers and scuffs is going to add $200 so that you can take it to $1,500. I think that's a sexier number than 13. So we'll go to $1,500 for you. Take it and put it to the good use, because I think stuff like this is what we need to do more of in racing. It's how we bring people that aren't familiar with it into it. So good on you guys. Good on Image Wraps for what they've done. And thank you so much for coming on and joining me for tonight. And go out there and have fun this weekend. And hopefully we'll talk to you on Monday after winning the championship.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And like I said, I appreciate everything y'all do, all my sponsors and stuff. It's just been a remarkable year, and I hope that we can just finish this off on a high note.
That is our friend Colton Everingham here on ONTrack Weekly. Best of luck, buddy.
Thanks, man.
So I definitely mean that. Stickers and Scuffs will put in $200, and we are going to take them to $1,500 because 15 sounds better than 13. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. As you do every week, it's so appreciated as we continue to build this show, build up G-Force TV. We've got some off-season content we want to try and build. Stickers and Scuffs, of course, our other podcast that is going to be returning. We won't be back until the end of September, following the Frostoberfest, following if we can get everything out there. We'll try to, but don't want to push it either. We'll try and get back to having weekly shows on Fridays. But again, you will see us every Monday here on G-Force TV. Come back tomorrow and support Race Rivals Race Chat with Adam Ross, Clinton Jeffrey. Then, of course, it is the Nationals are this weekend. This is your final week of racing at Ohsweken Speedway. So make sure you're tuned in. G-Force TV, Thursday, I believe, to Sunday is what it is. Thursday to Sunday. 4 days worth of amazing racing action at the Big O, only here on G-Force TV. So thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We'll catch you all next week here on the show. And thanks to all my guests for being a part of things. Love getting to do this with all of you.